Another video. This is XX Flex Doug Life here, and today we are watching the World Cup. So let's get started and watch this thing.
Top 30. So Storm Surge is off. First placement threshold in 5 more players. Black Suit over there in the mid tarp gonna hop up.
Just so you know, this video is sponsored by Epic Games.
If he wants to top off, we see the number of players pushing up towards that 60 range. Don't forget 8 spots coming out of Europe. Top 25, the first placement threshold, and Black is in a good spot to hit it with the 4 shadow bombs, using the first one now.
The stream's got to be feeling good about how their players playing thus far. Black Suit and Skype both excellent thus far. Potentially see Vato at some point. We'll have to find out. 28 players, 26, 25. What a quick shift in player count. Points going out. 3 for everybody left on the board. Down to 22 already. This rotation has been lethal for so many. Such a big shift. Down to 21 now. Chip goes down. 20. Every time I feel like I say it, we're about to see 19. There's another elimination. The Toxic Donut removed from the game. Black Suit pushing forward here. 2 eliminations. Don't want to get caught by someone boxing up as we've seen so many times in the past. Trying to maybe land somewhere inside a box with a launch pad. Going to move forward with the Storm. Excellent position now. Has a chance to kind of wait and peek back behind. Someone is up above. He's got to be careful there. That edit going to jump up and move on through to the next section of this circle. Still not stopped. We're very close. You look at the mini-map, the blue and white cross over the circles. Once that happens, you know players are going to start boxing up and peeking back for sure. Back-to-back shots, back-to-back eliminations.
No, he only got one of them. Daryl got the other one. That could end up being huge. Like we said, every single one of these interactions mattering, but Blackso trying to push the envelope and get every elim anyway. Will he be able to find it? He hits the shot, gets the siphon onto Purge. All of a sudden, Blackso has single-handedly fragged his way into the top 5. 57 points, but we've seen more. He needs to keep pushing. This is the last match on the server. This is the top 5. Frenzy, Nate, Screeky, Masato, and Blackso will be closing out the European region. Blackso right now extending the timer out on the Shadow Bomb. He's in your bottom right. He drops down. Nate gets taken out by Masato. Frenzy begins to work. Top down. Takes 55 fall damage. Blackso pushes in. Him and Masato in the same box. Masato disengages around the side. Blackso desperately trying to find the shot. Needs everything he can. Top 4. Screeky goes down as Masato finds it. Frenzy continues working from the top down, but Blackso needs the space. No builds left on Frenzy. 47 points for him, 57 for Blackso. This is his chance. Can he get Lestream to the World Cup final? He's looking for it. He finds the first shot. 88. Can he convert? No. Frenzy picks up the elim, but he finds the 30 right after. Needs the elim and the victory royale. 461. But can it be enough? And can he close it out? He's looking for the shot. 49 shields, 85 health. No builds from the low ground player. Frenzy gets cleaned up. 61 for Lestream's Blackso. But will it be enough? Courage, will it be enough?
We will find out, folks. 5 weeks of solo competition have led to this moment in Europe. The queues are done, and now it is time to find out who exactly has made it on through to the Fortnite World Cup Finals. Who will take up those final spots from the European region?
I think it's time to take a look.
Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen,
wow.
First off, congratulations to Andretta, who throughout the entire day was in that top spot. Crew, Skype, Light, Mongrel has made it on in. Was what everyone was wondering if he was going to do it.
Yep.
People had high expectations. He clutches in the end. Mku, Teak, and who did we just see in that last game?
There you go, man. Blacksu, he makes it in for Lestream. That's huge for the French-speaking community because we saw Solary already go through, and Lestream kept getting edged out every week, but now it's Blacksu's time to shine. Really quick, though, Andretta. So you talked about this guy's been on fire all day long.
Yeah.
We actually kind of pulled stats on his previous week qualifiers. For the previous solo weeks, 291th place, 127, 218, 610, and now first. All day long. Went from like 50 viewers on Twitch to like 20,000. Send Andretta some love. All his hard work has truly paid off. These are the 8 that are coming through, Courage.
Congratulations to them. I think there's one more thing we can do. It's time to punch their ticket Zeke.
I'll start over here.
Start over there.
Boop. There you go.
Andretta made it. Crew made it. Let's hit the middle one. Skype made it.
There you go.
Light. Mongrel. Congratulations again, brother. In the middle. Mku. And finally, Teak. And wait.
There you go.
Laksu as well.
There you
The
go.
8 players from Europe who will join Moffin and Rona season, as we saw earlier, making it on in. Incredible stuff. Europe was an insane day today, just as we expected. High-level lobbies, tons of people left all the way to that 5th zone. But here's the beauty of it, folks. We've got more action to bring you. We're going to go to a quick 5-minute break. When we come back, we'll catch you up to speed on some of the other regions before we kick off the NA East action.
Zeke, this is it. This is the last chance, all right? People need to know about this block party, all right? This is your last opportunity to get them involved, to get them hyped. Zeke, everyone's going to be there, all right? DJ Zeke's going to be there. DJ Sundown's going to be there. Everyone's going to be there, all right? The people are waiting. All right. You know what, man? I'm DJ Zeke. I don't need no card. But what you need to do is buy your tickets to the block party. Tickets are only $35, Fortnite fam. Listen, all right, June 15th, 16th at the LA Forum. Day 1, Creative Showdown. Listen, all right, Team Evolve built an incredible map. Spoiler alert, it's dope. Day 2, Celebrity Pro-Am. 50 pro gamers, 50 celebrities, all battling out for a $3 million charity prize pool. What more do you want? What more do you need? Fortnite fam, you need to be there because we are ready to party with you. Bam!
Heyo Fortnite fam, Sundown here, and today we're going to talk a little bit about the Flintlock pistol and its impact on competitive play.
The Flintlock pistol is a great addition. Sometimes it'll just change the course of a fight.
The things you can do is insane. You can get height with it. It shoots pretty far. You can almost use it as an AR at the beginning game just to get one shot. It'll hit for like 80, 90 in the body.
And this is looking really good for Horrify, but the Flintlock is going to get the high ground. Nikiva, such a smart play.
The Flintlock is a common and uncommon weapon that uses heavy ammunition. It does 86 or 90 damage depending on rarity, and it has a 2x headshot multiplier. This means that outside of a sniper rifle, it has the highest single shot damage potential in the game. However, the Flintlock only allows for one shot at a time, has pretty decent damage fall off, and also takes 3 seconds to reload. In addition to all of this, the Flintlock also has a mobility component to it. When fired, it will impulse the shooter backwards, and if the bullet strikes a target, it will impulse the target away from the shooter. This can allow for some tricky plays to be made. Player there, run down in the storm, jump, find them, yeah! We've seen a decent amount of use out of the Flintlock during the Fortnite World Cup online open qualifiers. So let's hear from some of the qualified players to get their opinion on its addition to the game.
If I'm low on HP and I have to choose one weapon, it will be this one. You can actually like kill someone from 200 HP to 0 without taking any shots.
And it's also really good for competitive play because if you're high ground or if you want to get away from the situation, the Flintlock, when you use it, it knocks you some distance so you can get away or you can get high ground over someone. I think it just adds a lot of like different plays you can make with it. I think it's good.
I personally really like the Flintlock. I think it's a really good weapon. I think it's a really strong weapon in the right hands. You need to know how to use it, and you need to base your whole game around it if you want to use it right.
It's just the kind of weapon we need more.
I definitely think it's one of the better things that have been added skill-wise. I like that it's so versatile. I really like it competitive. Definitely deserves a spot here.
Thanks for watching, and hopefully you saw how the Flintlock can be utilized in the right hands. What is the best Flintlock play you've done or seen? Share it with us using the hashtag Fortnite World Cup, and we'll be seeing you guys on the battle bus, or maybe Flintlocking through the air.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Fortnite World Cup. This is the final week for solo qualifiers, so if you're trying to make your way to New York City to punch that ticket, now's the time to do it. If you miss out, that'll be that. Coming up next, we have Asia and Oceania replays. Those regions have already played out, but before we get to that, I asked a question when I was with Sundown casting the end of Europe, and that was where your favorite drop spot was. And we are lucky enough, because of the magic of Twitter and the production team who is always top-notch. A little social, I want to see what everybody said about everything. I just want to put this out there immediately. My boy Till Truth agreeing that Viking Village up top, one of the best in the game. Disco, Frosty Dusty, Jung Junction when running solos. Well, this is a hot spot. Dropping Factories by Flush. Racetrack, Lazy Lagoon, or the Block. The Block, honestly, we're seeing that more and more. A lot of players are picking that up. Mega Mall, surprising to me, one of the biggest landing zones on the map right now. We've seen it time and time again being constantly swamped with players. Paradise Palm, Salty Springs again. Pressure Plant, and I believe that is the very southeast corner of the map. Some players call it Westworld. There's all sorts of names for these locations where they don't have a POI name on them. Kind of interesting to see how creative people can get. So, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I'm always curious where people are dropping as hard as I can to avoid any of those spots. Thanks for telling me where to not go. But I do want to see where Asia and Oceania go, and in order to do that, in order to look at those replays and get a play-by-play of everything happening, I need some players to give me some insight. And those players, in this case, will be Monster D-Face and Zeke.
Thank you, Dr. Lupo. Back at it again, Zeke.
Are you ready?
Ready to rock it.
I believe you are ready. That's why you gave me the fist bump and not Courage JD. Fortnite fam, we hope you guys are ready because it is finals day. We're hopping into some replays from Oceania that happened this morning. We want to get these guys up to speed, have them, share their moment because them qualifying was a big deal. Yeah, absolutely. So let's get ready to hop into these games together. Is there anything you're excited about? You looking forward to, Monster?
I mean, I'm looking forward to just watching all these games unfold. I follow, like, every competitive player on social media, so to wake up to my peers, kind of happy that they pushed through, or unfortunately, sometimes, you get the other tail end of that, see their errors, where things kind of didn't fall in line for them. Because at the end of the day, no performance is perfect. And when you kind of go back and really look at it, a lot of times you spot your own errors, so it's kind of crazy how much Fortnite has developed and evolved and how much more room for perfection there is in this game.
For sure, man. I mean, we can always be getting better, not only in Fortnite, but as humans, and of course, at our ability to eat chicken parmesan, because I will never be able to eat it as incredibly as Courage JD can. 44 players currently.
Graciously.
Yeah, he's voracious with the food. 44 players here in Storm Circle 5. We see this all the time, right, Monster? That was a great pickup of Magsy there in midair. But we see this all the time. Finals day is very different than Saturday's qualification rounds, right? Saturday's semifinals are typically very elimination heavy. Finals, they know what's at stake. They know they have to play conservative, play for points, play for placements, and that's what we're seeing now.
Yeah, it definitely goes without saying that these last days when everything's on the line, there's just so much more pressure on you to perform that you are going to be more hesitant. But not only that, you have to respect people that are able to make it through to the top 0.01% Sunday for qualification, because at the end of the day, look at how many players don't make it to Sunday. Like, literally, it's not easy to crack out 30, 50 points, 60 points if you're on EU at times, just to make it through. Like, the competition is that stiff, so there's a lot right on the line. If you make it through to Sunday, you got to give yourself a pat in the back, regardless of how you do it, because it's no easy feat. And if someone makes it look easy, just understand that guy is miles ahead of the competition.
Yeah, for sure. And I think even if you don't qualify, right, there's always going to be events going forward in the future. There's always another opportunity. Just because you didn't make it, it does not mean that it's the end of your Fortnite journey or your Fortnite career, right?
I mean, just like everything in life, it takes a lot of preparation, consistency, but more importantly, one of the factors people don't take for granted is it's the luck factor. You also still need things to click, even in life, and things are clicking right here. Scopes Rebel goes down, nice little shot from Rona Season, what we saw did pull through.
Yeah, that's right. Rona, aka Sazman, taking that #1 spot over in OCE. He's already on 4 eliminations, so this is probably his maybe second game, right? Because he has 10 points here, and we're not even top 5, has the 4 eliminations. and he's hard. So his game before must have just been his initial game for 6 points total. And now we're hopping in. How are things going to unfold for him? He just hit top 25, so first round of placement points coming out. Don't forget, guys, 15, 5, Victorial. Those are every single threshold, and every elim is a point. So already at 7, I don't know how to do math, just from elims and placement.
Yeah, and if you're new to competitive Fortnite, this is what it looks like at the highest levels of competition when there is money and prize on the line. Not only that, the respect of your peers. People are insane at this game. You might not see Glider redeploy every day in your day-to-day games, but here in the upper levels of competition, they use these kind of items to maximum efficiency to save materials. So top-tier competitive Fortnite is a very interesting thing to watch and kind of digest. And just kind of from sticking around and studying these guys' play, you can level up your own game.
Especially like the minor differences between different people's play, right? Like, you as a player, you might say, I love Glider redeploy, and that is my go-to item. Yep. For me, I might say, look, I value the Shadow Bombs more because it just lends itself to my playstyle and the things I'm looking to do. You know, especially as Fortnite continues to evolve, new patches come out, new weapons, items, utility, all that. Like, it's just an ever-changing game. To see these guys adapt and just everything in their hands is lethal. It's like, gray AR, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to find 10 elims. Gray tac, it doesn't matter. 10 elims. Right. Yeah, exactly.
They make it look so good. Now take a look at Rona, who somehow manages to find some high ground off that Shadow Bomb, doing a really good job at climbing up here. Makes the edit one step ahead of Unknown. Space there, kind of steps out before his counterplay can even happen. Now he is set up. He has a set-up shot right here. Who's at the ultimate top? It's Alfie. Alfie firing down, and someone else is just above him. You can see there, it's Brave. I will not lose. He's got the ultimate high here. Alfie says, you know what? I want no part of that. He is coming down into Rona. See what Rona's going to do with these final moments here. He steps into another player's box. 120. Such a tight crosshair to hit these shots. You got to respect the aim here and the consistency, Zeke.
This is what separates Sosman from the rest, right? There's so much confidence behind his play, and this is what I love talking about because that's what resonates with me, is how confident you are in the moment of things happening, right? Just look at this. Not building. He has 13 builds, so it's not much, but he doesn't need to build. He knows what's going on. He's dictating the tempo of this game, right? Right now, Sosman is on that lowest level. Bray is up above. And now, I mean, Sosman's got 10 elims, all right? This is huge. He's going to try and go against Bray. Now, Bray does have more materials, 35-2, but now they're saying, you know, let's go toe-to-toe. Can Sosman line up the shot? He actually drops down below Monster. This engagement didn't even pan out. Oh.
Is he going to be able to get him? Is he going to be able to break these builds and bring him down to him? You saw Rona Season was just trying to stick it all the way through. And Rona Season is Sosman, guys. For those of you guys just tuned in, so these final moments are here, are everything. He's looking to get these low ground peaks. He's got the storm in his favor. He's still tracking with it. And he hits every shot, every single peak, every moment, every pixel goes to Rona.
And that's what I kind of talked about, dictating the tempo, right? It was Rona who's telling everyone else in the lobby, this is what we're doing now. Because you saw the player above. They had health advantage. They had shields. Sosman didn't. He was down to, like 50 HP and then pops the slurp. And then that other player was so afraid to fire back because he was like, look, this guy's going to crack me in the face every single time. You can just tell by the way he's moving. He's confident. He sees that win.
And that's what I was going to say. Like, it's so funny that even with the high ground, sometimes you can just tell a good, like, low ground warrior will poise up in such a way that you're like, dude, if I, like, look over, like, he's going to shoot me. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, you just know. So in those final moments, you kind of just knew, man, he was going to get shot. And, you know, hate to see it not be able to clutch up. But on to the next, guys, is ORNZY. Ornzy.
I think that's making me, like, sending me back into my previous Fortnite games.
Know,
where it's
right?
like, I want to fight a guy, and I'm like, this guy's crazy. Like, why would he do this? Yeah. I'm just gonna get this guy, and then he just completely demolishes me. I'm like, he is crazy good at Fortnite. That's what was going on. Now look at this, Ornzy here. Great pickup. My goodness, 3 elims just like that. Now keep in mind, he's outside of top 25. He's got to be a little bit careful here of how he navigates. Again, on the right side of your screen there, you see Sosman, again, the person who qualified from OCE. His name currently is Rona Season, a.k.a. Sosman, just to make sure you know. But look at this loadout, dude.
He's looking good. One of the underrated things about the minigun is the extreme high fire rate. It might actually have the highest fire rate in the game when it's fully cooked, and because of that, it can really punch through builds, even if you're trying to stay on defense. So if you guys haven't given up the minigun a swirl, I should say, try and pressure someone down when they're in the box with it, and let me know if you pierce through the turbo build, if you get some shots. But don't forget, guys, we're tuning in straight with the OCE games here, which already kind of developed over the evening here at the Fortnite World Cup. Players have already punched their tickets to New York City. This is the last solo opportunity. Next week will be duos, but today it's all about the solo action. You can find yourself in the Big Apple.
Big Apple for a slice of pizza, like Golden Boy likes to say. I don't know why I like to keep perpetuating that, but here we are.
For a slice of 30M.
Yeah, there you go. You know, something really cool about Rona's loadout. Look at this. He's actually maxed. We were able to see his max count there for a little bit. He's completely maxed on everything. He actually has extra metal laying close by. Max rockets with the 12. Completely great AR. Look at this. 650 rounds of small ammunition. 130 slugs. 8 deploys. A single shadow bomb. Sure, you know, he probably wishes he had 6. But this is a loadout you want to make plays with. He's going to send shots over to the player, trying to get in. Lucas is going to get caught out, making a rotation, and that elim puts him in the top 25.
He is there, knocking on the door here, and this is how his journey unfolded to make it through to the Fortnite World Cup. Every opportunity that he has to take someone out, you can see he's singling out players and taking advantage of the positioning, but hopping around the map. These are some other players' journey as well. As we have Ariel here, looking for the heavy snipe, finds a weak opportunity in the build. Whoever that is up above him is going to manage to connect the structure, but you know what? Ariel pops a nice little cone up. He's trying to go for it. Really trying to get a piece of this high ground here. And now he disengages the pursuit, but is still tunneling on by.
That's good though. You know, if you don't have all the information, it's best to not try and go for the play, especially in finals. If this is, you know, semifinals, go for it, right? Like at worst, you're just set back a game, you could re-queue and everything's okay, but in finals, every single interaction does matter. So for Ariel, you know, he could have potentially challenged for that high ground, but it's like, I just kind of use my heavy snipe. I don't have that key to all doors. Let me just get myself to safety, take a moment, reload, gather more information. And because of just that slight pause, look, he's now in top 15. He found an elim, which he was hunting for before. He just finds it in another place. And now he's still just continuing. He picks up a rift to go as well. Heavy snipe going to be picked up too. So now, I mean, Ariel's in a great spot right now.
Yeah, for sure. That nice little mat replenish there from catching the elim is going to throw him back in the running here to try and see if he can squeak out a victory. Up at the high ground, we have other things unfolding. Kalen goes down to Samurai. Sosman still alive in the mid-tarp, putting down pressure. Squall's in a campfire here. That's a signal to the rest of the lobby that, hey, there's someone weak nearby. Sosman hears the shadow bombs kind of thrown all around him. What's he going to do here? He's just on the hunt. OCE region specifically requires you to get a ton of eliminations if you want to be number 1. There's only one spot up for grabs. And there it is, another player nearby. That's all shield ripped off. He's going to push that. Sees a player above him. He does see a player above him.
He's going to try and maybe make something happen. But look, don't forget, he still has every single rocket.
Nice rocket right there.
12 rockets. This payload is about to just destroy builds all the way around. And look, Ariel as well up on the high ground has them. So the first rocket from Ariel comes in, and then Sosman's second finds an elimination. Another rocket from Ariel up on the high ground. And look at this. Down below, they're just desperately trying to keep their builds up, and they're burning through mats. Sosman is now out. And look, he gets challenged from the front, challenged from the right, finds the 2 players, and he makes this a 1v1, but look at his HP right now. First rocket's going to come in. How is he going to pull this off, Monster?
I don't know if he can. He doesn't really have much going for him. 24 health.
He picked up 500 metal from 0 to 500. 50 builds. This is huge. If those get fully built off, they're going to absorb an entire rocket and still stay built. But
no way, dude.
This is a tough spot. Oh. That's a tall ask. That's a tall ask.
Really was. 200 HP on Ariel with the RPG as well. He was fully loaded, med kit, minis. He had everything he needed. That was a tough end game for Sosman. But hey, second place is not too shabby in this format. You get, you know, a ton of placements, but more importantly, those 2 eliminations to squeak out. We've seen the difference of 1 point was literally what all these games came down to. So that little flick of the moment, that little, you know, reaction to jump down there and go for it, that's the risk you take, and that's the payout you get.
Now we hop on over. There you go. This is, so don't forget, this is now, we're in Asia replays. You can see at the top right. So these happen again overnight while we were all asleep. I was asleep like a baby. That's not true. I woke up several times. I was mad about it. Moffin XD, though, was the victor coming out of that Asia region.
Yep, and you see there, Moffin finds someone hiding in the cone. Does capitalize on a nice little elimination. Sees the loot back there, but might be a little too far to go scavenge for, so he's just on the hunt still here. As things are poised up outside of the Dusty Divot. Really tough place to battle out of. You never want to find yourself in the center of it. Nice shot right there. As he catches someone who's running right by. These competitive players are so good with the accuracy. Oh, he's trying to play the loot hoarder here, trying to get all the mats and stuff that he did not battle for, and now he's got the storm against his back, and there's no way that man was going to get out of there, because with the 60-second threshold now, the storm can also just reward that Elam regardless to Moffin here, and whoa, he jumps into the zone for the desperate materials. Didn't even rip out. Ouch, it's going to cost him like 70 health there, Zeke.
That's a lot. Okay, so he did pick up 3 campfires. Sure, he can heal up, but that's such a tell, right? The moment you place a campfire, you're telling everyone around you, hey, I'm low HP. I have to use this if I hope to survive. Now, keep in mind, he was at the edge of the storm. He had quite the rotation to make. Because he dipped into the storm, everyone else is already making their way into safety. He's going to have a relatively safe rotation, but, like, again, he's in critical condition. If he finds an Elam, it's going to be huge. That Siphon's going to just put him right back into fighting condition, but he's got to find that Elam.
Dude, talk about, like, insane rotation. First of all, he didn't get shot once coming from the further side of the Dusty Divot, and there was multiple players set up on bases. That is what we call that little bit of luck factor that sometimes you just need to kind of pull through here, because it doesn't happen like that very often. Someone gets rifted up there. Moffin lands a nice little 78. He's still in the game right now. Still in the game here.
He's going to reload that heavy snipe. So just look for an opportunity. I doubt he's going to try and go for close range snipes. He's probably going to use that to just punch into people's bunkers. He has his own rift to go. If things get a little hairy, I think he probably wants to use it, because if you, this is great. Just punch through, there you go, and use the other player's rift.
Community rift again.
Yeah, but look where we're going right now. We're going on the little lip there of Dusty Divot. That's such an incline that if you don't make it first, you can actually box other people out, and then they have to burn materials to get over the little hill there. So I like that play, just saying, you know what? This guy used the rift, and look at this. Prime real estate.
You just said it, too, right? Like, you want to get on the lift there and see what you can do. Moffin comes in with some shots here. Looking for the replacement. Pulls off the cone, Zeke. Wow. Just like that.
And this is huge now, too, because not only does he get all the Elams, the campfire's still going, so people are going to be like, oh, that player must be weak. Would we like to engage him? And Moffin sitting on 200 is like, please. No, yeah, absolutely. Like, come on in.
That'll be a big mistake for someone there. Let's look at this map here. This is the Asian region, guys. We're tuned in with Asia. Hopping into some of what occurred overnight here. Char Mew looking to get his little moment here on the show. Nice shot right there. Oh, man, Char gets hit with the Shadow Bomb. Don't forget, guys, that animation, while you're in Shadow Bomb as well, you're vulnerable. You are very vulnerable. You have to be careful of your surroundings. You can take damage. You're not invincible in the Shadow Bomb form.
Man, Charmy is just burning through materials. That was a pretty rough rotation. It's probably going to cost him in the long run, because, I mean, he did go through quite a bit of mats, but... you know, Monster, I like to pose this question. I've already posed it to Pookie. I've posed it to Kitty. You know, you guys are members of the community. You've taught so many of us different things. You know, you've got a podcast. In case you know who Monster D-Face is, go send him a follow. He's incredible. But you've been in situations like this, right? You've played in Summer Skirmish. You've played in, I think, Fall Skirmish as well, right? You know, we went to Korea together to watch the Korea Open. So you understand what these players are thinking. For maybe people that are kind of new to Fortnite, that maybe this might be their first time tuning in, you want to just break down some things for them.
Yeah,
like for instance, like rotations. Like what is Metsuo thinking right now as he's barreling toward trying to keep himself safe, right?
Yeah, well, like, obviously, initial threats, right? You want to handle everyone here, nice little trap play. So just even every single decision can be broken down. The way they use traps, a lot of these players, you want to double trap left and right wall, so you cut off all plans for escape, something small like that. Here, editing his way down, right? He does not have an escape plan. That elim right there is going to give him the launch pad, of course, to get the escape route off the high ground, but just recognizing height differences, the way competitive players play zone, they typically like to hug the zone. They never give too much, they don't take too much real estate in the end moments. They take their time and kind of hug the zone instead, flirt with that storm line. So many little different things that come into competitive play, and you can really just nitpick and break it all apart. It's so crazy in the highest levels.
Yeah, I just love talking about that stuff. I'm not great at articulating my thoughts with that kind of stuff. I understand what's happening. I'm like, oh, I'm trying to tell you a thing.
It happens so quickly, especially in Fortnite. But that's one of my favorite parts about it is just like the action, the APM, the actions per minute in Fortnite is unparalleled to any other VR I've ever experienced. And that's what really draws me to this game specifically. So we are looking at Moffin, who pulled through, man, took it right underneath the feet of people like Aim Hero that Zeke and I had. We had the pleasure of casting it at South Korea. He crushed it. Yeah. We saw Sinnoh out there.
We met him.
We met all, dude. It was like so surreal, dude.
Yeah,
right?
Dude. I remember that story that what happened so vividly. We met him because we were like, we're like in almost like a green room waiting to go. Yeah. And we saw players around us, and Aim Hero was like, he popped in the room, and we're like, oh, hey, like, hi. And
matter of fact, remember, there was like this divider, we were standing over it, and they were like, Zeke, I love you.
And I was like, wait, what? And they were like, yeah, you're Zeke, and you're Monster D-Face. And we were like, wait, first of all, congratulations, Moffin XD. We know you're the victor, and that is exactly why 11 eliminations and the Victory Royale, 21-point game, massive lead for him. But yeah, I remember, and then they just called us out. They're like, yeah, you're Monster, and you're Zeke. And I was just like, what the heck?
That was definitely crazy to think outside the country.
Yeah, that was what was
we're out the country. This is Fortnite on a global scale here.
Man, how it's so crazy. That was like at the beginning of the year. Now here we are, dude.
We have not made a full year casting Fortnite yet. This thing is just like exploded.
Oh goodness, the snipe coming out! Oh, wow, what a massive shot coming out of Moffin. And look, check this out. 31 players left. He's already on 6 eliminations. This guy is crazy, and this is who is going to the World Cup Finals. This is the level of play we will see in the finals.
Yeah, Moffin's going to have to bring it. When you put a player who's only experienced one region, let's just say, against the likes of the rest of the world, who knows what region is really going to come out on top. Keep in mind, too, though, guys, EU and the American regions, the European and American region, will, of course, have a larger presence just off of the sheer numbers, so it is going to be interesting how the top 20 turns out, especially considering, some presence a little less than others, but, I mean, all these guys are equally skilled.
That's right.
In some capacity. They're all deserve to be there, all of them.
And you know what's funny, too, is we interviewed, in case you missed it earlier, go back and check out the VODs, we actually interviewed Sozman, the winner from OCE, and, he was just basically explaining, like, we asked him, how do you feel about going into the Fortnite World Cup Finals? And he was like, OCE plays differently than NA does, and it's going to be interesting for me going to finals and competing against that, because we just play so differently, so I almost, in my head, like, I just imagine everyone kind of playing their own game going into finals, but at the same time, like, you got to think, this is a $30 million prize pool. This is huge. The biggest stage ever.
For different places. I mean, but that goes against everyone else, too, though.
Sure.
Because that means, oh, man, just think about it.
I think finals going to have its own kind of...
they're going to have a style, and of course, the pressure's going to be high, guys. I think the real question is who's going to have the confidence to take a fight and win a fight. Like, who is straight up going to have the confidence and just be like, you know what, I don't respect your builds, I'm pushing you. Who's going to be that guy, right? Because that's really what it comes down to. If you are confident like that, that's why you see people like Bugga, Dubs, Clicks, right? Stompy. They were like, what duo are you? I don't care if you're Kinstar. I'm gonna take your wall right now.
Exactly.
And that level of play is why. And dude, we've seen Stompy do it every week. Even this time around, he got 11. He was just outside of top 10. So trust me, he's still here, guys. That's what they do. They just do crazy plays.
Yeah, that's actually something you taught me way back when. Is you cannot. Let's say it's just Zeke, me, and I'm in this game somehow. I don't know, it's some alternate universe, and I'm good at the game, and I'm fighting off against someone like Moffin here, who qualified as that #1 player going into finals. I cannot stop and sit here and go, that's Moffin. I know what he's capable of. I can't make a mistake. I just have to go. It doesn't matter who that is. I just have to play my game. I have to play the very best that I can. And at the end of the day, that's all I can ask for, right? Like, the moment you stop and think, that's Tfue, I think, that it's already too late. You've already made the error, right? Like, you can't stop it. And some people can't. They're like, okay, I know that's Tfue. I know he's going to try and probably do this based on what I've seen and information I have. But if you're just sitting there and thinking like, oh, man, that's Tfue. I don't know if I can fight him. Like, no, you can fight him. You've made it to finals for a reason. Take the fight if you think you can.
Yeah, it's also going to get crazy, too, because for Fortnite World Cup, if you guys don't know already, we're going through full games. The early game story, the contestant, the points of interest, who likes to land where the map's going to be at that point, right? Things are going to change, and the game is going to be played in a way that we have not seen yet. And that's what excites me the most, is that we're going to see 100 of the world's best under one hub. The Fortnite World Cup.
Oh, man, I can't wait. I can't wait. And to see all the Fortnite fans there as well, kind of cheering on the people they support, it's going to be
Are you ready to feel the crowd's energy?
I'm going to cry.
Rip through your body? The entire stadium.
Just a rough. Fortnite fan, we had a little bit of a moment there. We hope you had that moment with us. Hashtag Fortnite World Cup. Are you ready? Are you hyped for the Fortnite World Cup finals in New York City? Alter Ego here finds an elimination, cracks that player. Now, this is his first win. He's probably hoping for more. Like, this game, he wants as many points as possible. He's going to look to probably play a little bit more aggressive, right? Look at what I'm the #1 player who came through 4 injuries in this loss, and he's dominating the high ground. 12
He has just been shutting it down while we just checking out the storm here. Moffin going for the high ground. He's holding it. Nice little side jump right there. No errors coming out of him. And look at how he uses the boom bow to crack open all the builds. Nice little 82 right there. Here comes the pressure. Can he get the follow-up? Looking for it. Nice little side jump. That's another one. This player is in pickaxe territory. Bye-bye jackpot. Moff could not even get the spoils. Another boom bow.
Immediately, boom, he says, I know you heard me take this fall damage. You don't know how much it was. They go for the challenge, and Moffin was prepared. He knew. Again, it's just about dictating the game, right? He's like, I want you to challenge me. You know that I'm hurt, how hurt I am. You do not know. And just like that, dictating the game yet again cleans up that victory out. 15 eliminations.
Points is that? It's that 25-point game.
That's
literally doubling his score out of nowhere. If you were in the top 10 and you had that come up, that's it.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Now, guys, you know, we've had an awesome time, but for now, we're going to hit pause. Let's send it back into studio with Dr. Lupo, because I believe the doctor is in.
What a terrible, repetitive joke, Zeke, but I appreciate the effort. I'm just kidding. Thanks, Zeke. Appreciate that. Crazy games from Asia, and Oceania. You love to see kind of the meta changes and how different regions present themselves and the way that they adjust their gameplay relative to everybody else. But Europe today, and as we've seen multiple times in the past, Europe has done an excellent job of putting on a show like I think few people could even possibly imagine. And to talk about that and an interesting turn of events for who ended up at the top, joining me right now is Sundown. What do you think so far about Europe?
Thank you so much, Lupo. Indeed, it was crazy. So just a couple of quick facts I want to write down. 15 points separated 100th place and 8th place. That means a 5-point victory route was the difference of going to New York City and being in the 100th spot. That is absurd for how close it was. Blackso, in that final game we watched, pushed him up to 61 points. He was tied at 61. But because he had the victory royale and got the average elim at the end, it pushed him into the last spot. We talk about how every single interaction ends up mattering. And then, unfortunately, on the outside, looking in, Airwalks, the last play we saw, if he had had one more build, he could have made it up the elevation and kept the storm. Instead, lost it, lost the victory royale, and lost his spot in New York City. Nitro also on the outside, looking in, 2 top 15 finishes, but not being enough. That lets you know how crazy it is. However, the player who took the top spot was Cypher's Andretta with a crazy run, and we're going to be joined by him right now. Andretta, man, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling very good.
I mean, I would hope so. So we saw you yesterday put on an incredible show. In week after week, your placings have gone up. What was the difference between this weekend and all of the other weekends? Were you just feeling it? Did you eat your Wheaties for breakfast? What's going on?
The thing is, the other weeks I wasn't that confident, but this week I decided to try and talk with someone while playing. So that kind of helped. Getting to like talk to people, getting them to calm you down and stuff. And I got good RNG. Very good.
Nice, yeah, being able to get all of that and put it together. So you got off to an incredible run, winning 2 of your first 4 games. How were you able to get those victories? Did you just dominate them out? You had a solid amount of elims. What were those wins like?
I was using the bowler to get the endgame, and then I usually found out like when I needed to drop out and stuff to go for the eliminations, and I usually had my bowler until endgame. So the thing is, you should try and keep your bowler until endgame, because it's really strong. You can go out of your bowler, get a lot of kills, and win the game. Also, you can use the bowler to get high, most of the times.
Yeah,
so I did that sometimes.
We saw you execute on that a number of times, which is kind of something we were talking about, pushing the gameplay and actually turning the baller into something that was aggressive. Now, kind of about midway through, you looked at the leaderboard, saw you were in such a lead, and knew you'd be able to close it out. But my question is, when it was all said and done, and you saw you were there, you were in the #1 spot, what did you do? Did you run around your house? Did you go tell your parents? Were you celebrating on Discord? What was that moment like?
I was celebrating so much. I actually got hosted by Symphony. My stream was going crazy. I was actually, while I was playing, like my 5th game, I started crying because I almost knew I was qualified. So that was probably one of the best moments in my life ever. I don't know what to say.
It's got to be exhilarating, honestly, to know that, especially in Europe, which we've talked about as one of the most difficult regions to qualify in. Even with 8 positions, there's so much pressure there. But I got to ask kind of a random question. I keep seeing the lighting change on your face. What are you watching right now?
I'm actually watching the Fortnite stream.
All right, you see yourself. There's layers here. There's layers. It's very Inception level. Well, thank you so much, Andretta, for joining us. Before we let you go, though, if you could do me a favor, please, 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 please shout out your own channels, shout out your duos channels, anybody you want to.
Okay. So my Twitch is Andretta. My Twitter is Cypher Andretta. My YouTube is Andretta. And I want to shout out Shoko Laden, and all the people in that Discord. And I want to shout out my stream. Thank you so much for the support.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much. Again, incredible performance both yesterday and today. Congratulations. $10,000, a spot in New York City, and as Golden Boy would say, we'll have to get a slice of pizza. We'll be seeing you later, man.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely incredible. It's crazy to think just the age ranges too. You know, the kids that are so young, all the way up to, I believe the oldest qualified right now is 24
right now. Yep.
Consider how much they're playing for too. I don't blame him honestly for getting emotional in the middle of even halfway through his games. It's insane.
It's just nuts to me where he's like, oh, I didn't have the level of confidence. And then right after, it's like, yeah, about like halfway through my games, I started crying because I knew I'd done it. And it's like, that's the level of confidence you need to be bringing on the final day. Just huge shout out to Andretta. Go follow him on Twitter, follow him on Twitch, give him all the plugs, because I promise you'll be seeing more of this prodigy. Topping Europe is an incredible accomplishment, but we have more games and more regions to be getting into. We saw Oceania and Asia just now. We're going to hop on in to Brazil for a brief little bit. So back on over to the cast as we go.
Thank you guys so much. Man, you know, I feel like we've just nerded out about Fortnite, but now seeing Andretta be there and just like talk about things, it makes me want to nerd out more.
Dude, it gives me the feels, man. These young champions coming up and coming out, and it's crazy. Like you said, he just knew he made it, because if you look at the track history of all the players who've qualified so far, I say it every week, it only takes about 5 or 6 games. That's all it takes. If you get 5 or 6 aces, just solid games, big points, big placement, you're knocking on the door.
Right.
All you got to do is not choke the rest. Just ease it out. Just ease it out. Get a couple here, get a couple there, secure the deal, and Andretta knew 5 games in, oh my gosh, I think I got the 5 that I really needed to make it to New York City. And that was it. That was like literally it. Long behold, though, he gets first. First in the whole thing. European, the toughest region, in my opinion.
Yeah.
One of the toughest regions. Of course, you can't take away from West, who sometimes only gets 1 spot. You know, OTE, Asia, and Brazil, of course, they only get 1 spot. It's crazy. That's arguably harder, but when you talk about mass player pool, Europe is hard, dude. To get #1 is insane.
Well, especially for Andretta, I had a card not that long ago kind of saying a few of his placement spots. Last week we watched him end in 610th place, and now the last solo week. Now to see him in the final week come out as that #1 player, you know, that's
just click.
You know, I would associate like, you know, there's 8 spots, and if you hit one of 8, great, awesome. I've qualified, great. But to be able to say, of that 8, I was #1. Look, you know, Tifus of the world, you guys need to respect my game. I came in #1 in Europe. That's why I'm here in the finals. Like, let's go. It's going to be insane. Oh, man, I love Fortnite so much. 23 people left in the current lobby, though. Monster hopping in Storm Circle 6. Now, guys, don't forget, we are hopping into Brazil games. These are live. For a moment there, we had the timer. We're about 1:30 or so left on queue times. Don't forget, it's 10 games.
An hour.
About an hour 40. Okay, I was close. Darn. I was just off by 10. We have either that 3-hour window or 10 matches to play, whichever comes first. And then, obviously, we're going to, you know, make sure that, because don't forget, you can queue up even with those last few seconds and then play out an entire match. We want to just make sure everyone has enough time to wrap up their games, get those standings out. But here we go. Peru, hop into with him. 100 ping. All right.
Things are unfolding right now as we speak. So this is a live situation here. Brazil, known for another region that you have to pick up heavy elimination, secure placement points. This is not just a win every game and you make it through scenario. You need the elims as well. Nice shot right there from Peru. 100 ping. Connecting with the combat. Oh, bumps his noggin right there, and that's going to cost him the second launch pad.
Yeah, you definitely want to look up. You never want to make that happen because you waste a secondary launch pad, but it's okay. New rotation coming out. He's got to reassess. He's going to be able to get himself to safety. Now, he's already hit top 15, so everything's okay. We're still in the running here. But, you know, there's a lot of big names in the Brazil region. All the W7M boys. You see the red teams, right? You know, Snow, just to name one. You know, the X-Own King. So many talented players.
Team Techno Viking kind of through.
Also from red, you know, man, there's so many players here that this box can go to. Tries to challenge for the launch pad, doesn't get it, instead says, Kin, I'm going to go ahead and shut you down. You took that launch pad, I need it, and that's what helps him make the rotation.
Ooh, but he does get hit by a combat. It's Ice who's in the high ground, so Peru's now found himself in a dire situation. He's got to start healing. Tony's underneath the build, putting some pressure up, but Tony gets melted by Code, Pulsari, and so does Gabriel. Just gets owned by Vanessa on the edge there. Clip Node now putting pressure down. We're going to hop into his perspective here as he's looking for this combat. That's 1, that's 2. Doesn't find a 3rd, but it's okay. As he raises himself up in the layer. He's trying to get a brief moment of peace in this crazy storm that he's in right here. He can't even heal. A nice little stop. Fran, he catches him in the toe. He's going to keep him in the game here.
This is huge, man. He's already on 8 eliminations. When we talk about elimination counters, especially on finals, 8 is massive. You know this player has been on a spree. And look at this. Clipnote looking to play it out as technically as possible, looking for these angles, waiting for people to turn their backs.
Oh my.
Sends shots over. I think he's trying to go for the wall replace.
Yeah, he hit this guy for white, so he knows he can take this right here. He's got to be careful, though. Can't let his guard down. Turns around. It's Peru, who was in a weird spot before. He was very low on health. Turns that one around. Someone else goes down to the storm right there, so Clipno couldn't even get that. It's Vamos, who was still in the game. And Exakal holding up the high ground right now. What's he going to do? He's just walking on these builds. He doesn't have anything left. Neither does Clipno.
In the shadow form, he just obliterates the player. That was absolutely insane. But Clipnote is the victor of that game. Like, see what it did there? You maybe saw it, maybe didn't. It's okay. Next game, though, massive prop. Oh, you see
the clip and the this and the that.
I just rhymed. No big deal. I'm not a rapper. 44 players in the next game. Moving on in. Man, he popped that ghost right in the sky. Maybe you could call him a ghost buster.
Oh.
Shout outs to Jeff.
Right,
I made your joke. We're going to high five after this from production.
Take his joke?
Yeah, he wanted me to make the joke on broadcast, so I did it. Again, guys, hashtag Fortnite World Cup. Give production some love. There's so many people that work so hard to make this all possible, and they're all wonderful human beings that I honestly cannot give and express enough love for. So just say, hashtag Fortnite World Cup production team. You guys are awesome. That would mean the world to me and to them. And an hour and a half. I guess 36 minutes. I'm just going to be specific because everyone's always like, you're rounding, don't do that. I'm sorry, it's just how I work.
Yeah, Zeke, there's 1 hour and 36 exact minutes and 13 seconds at this current moment. Every second, every moment matters.
Right. Here we go.
Fax trying to get this guy to come down. Combat redeploy. He gets behind the tree. Tree works on his favor and shadow bomb.
You saw, so he was like, dude, I want this elim. I worked real hard. I need to find it. And they shadow bomb out. They're like, no. And in the end, it was the elimination credit. He must have fallen to the storm. Don't forget, with those recent changes, you got to be more careful, man. That 60-second timer, you can't play around with that.
Dude, he must have, I can only imagine in shadow form, if you wall hop off of a structure and it throws you back just a little bit. It must have been just enough to hold him into the storm.
Yeah.
And that's how Fax caught that elimination here. As the congestion, this is unreal for the Brazil region. You don't see it get this crazy, but 40 players basically on a non-moving zone right now. We're just approaching the first. Luco Boy finds Mew Pal there, and Oni Tomori is putting in some pressure as well. Just kind of see what he can find here. Fax just waiting on by, trying to...
He's got the launch pad.
Holding it in the hand.
Yeah, he doesn't want to give it away, because if you put it down early, it does make that sound, and players know, all right, community launch pad, there you go. Great, you're making sure that the storm overtakes it, so if anyone else wants to do it, they take the damage for it. Bro, we are nowhere. It's still 9 players. 8 players need to fall before top 25.
Yeah, this is actually insane right now. These guys are sticking around for placement in these final moments here. But if you want to take first place, you got to get Elans here, and that's why Fax is being so proactive right now.
Something to point out, too. Check the right side of your screen. The damage threshold, don't forget about that. Look at this number, though. 1,000 damage above the threshold. This guy is putting in work right now. Fax, he is going full send. He is aware. He wants to try and qualify. Remember, there's a spot up for grabs in Brazil, and these are live games happening right now. So, you know, Oceania and Asia happen overnight. We still have to crown a champion coming out of the final solo week for Brazil.
Yeah, Fax is already at 13 points, so if that was his game 1, he's way ahead of the curve here. This might be about his 3rd or so, but nonetheless, he's still in the running right now. These are some respectable points to be had. He's going for the high ground. Clothesline to Zoom. Straight up. Hits him with the 96. And now, he's in it. But he's going to go down to the low ground here. He doesn't want to contest for the high. He still has to pop some minis. And the server's collapsing on him with raining fire here. He's got to be extremely careful. Lucky for him, the high ground is in a battle of its own now. Fax catches a moment to regather himself as Ganks and Lorax is in the high ground.
Man, and look at all these players coming in from the community launch pads, any rotational tools they had, the Rift to Goes. Oh, yeah.
That's a weird place to be, man. You can't build on that thing.
Yeah, you got to be careful. You have to build over it.
Up and over.
A shot into the storm.
Oh, my.
That is Tuelas picked up 2. Tate as well. Frita. Batata Frita. 2 eliminations
is that
name.
Is that another? Oh, that one's just yoinked from him. He almost had it. But credit is still to be had here as he is turning up right now. Bro, I can't pronounce that the way Zeke did, but Batata Frita is going in right now. He's looking for this high ground.
You see the technical builds, too? Using the cone and then hopping out around, using that floor to catch yourself so you kind of save a build there? All right. All right, Batata Frita. I'm about it. An 82 and a follow-up. That is Lorax.
And he got the mats. That's what's important here. He does have the materials to hold out now. The high ground is his. Can he stick it out, though? Yes, players are dropping right now. We're in top 6 suddenly. So all these placements are being divvied out. Just one more person goes down, and just a little bit more is going to be rewarded to him here.
Man.
You can see the shot there.
This was really good from him, right? Making the decision to go high ground. Look at this. It's put him in the top 5. We were top 25 when we kind of tuned into him, right around there. And because of his decision making, he's gotten himself all the placement points. The victory route is the next threshold. And look, Monster, he's just looking to close this out.
That's right, and I love it because he's just textbook holding his high ground, but he is out of mats now. So this is where you have to go down. Uses the cone right there to sit on that, and he just has to give the high ground to Avir here.
I believe that is Avalar, I think.
Oh, Avalar. Gotcha.
Yes, I think so. Sundown can correct me at some point. He's going to go toe with that player, though, and that is it. Good day, sir.
Did he get mats off that? He didn't, Zeke.
He's got the flint knock, though. He's got...
he's got the combat, so he's got right there. One more shot to Wonder Deer. Wonder Erzin is going to go down. Is he going to go down? Yes, he is. Frita connects in the final moments right there. Walks away with the 6th elimination victory royale.
Man, 16-point game coming out of the Brazil region. You like to see it. Now, Fortnite fam, you know we've had so much fun hanging out with you, but for now, let's sit back in the studio and see what Dr. Lubo's got.
Thank you, Zeke. Thank you, Master D Face. You legends. I know a lot of people are wondering, and yes, we're going to look at it here in a second because the tension in Brazil is high. South America putting on an excellent show, and we want to see what the standings are, so I'm going to take a little stroll on over. We're going to look at the board and see exactly where everybody is lining up right now, and here you go, top to bottom. Clipnote sitting at 51 points, 4 games played and 2 victory royales, but on his tail, only King, 45, just 6 points behind, and only 3 games played. You see the spread here, not too far away from each other. Multiple players from previous qualifying weeks. King, Code Nix right there. Both players already have made their way. They've already punched their ticket to New York City, but consistency is key, as you can see here. An example of exactly that. You'd love to see it. Brazil, thank you so much for everything you've done for us so far, putting on an excellent show. But before we get into the rest of the games of the day, we're going to take a quick 5-minute break, so don't go anywhere except for maybe to the bathroom. Oh, sorry, half hour. I do this every time. Production yells at me repeatedly. I don't know how to tell time, all right? 30 minutes. Go get some lunch. Swing on back. See you in a bit.
Alright guys, so that was the end of the video. This video is an hour long. I tried to make the video long as possible, but you know, stuff like that. So this is the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. This is XX Flex signing out. Goodbye.